Hello, everybody. I decided to take a little break from Dream Drop distance to just grace you with my presence. My name is Aaron, and I'm from Traumatic Panda. And if you're new here, well, we basically do game stuff. We're gonna start doing anime stuff and movie stuff. But I'm pretty sure you care about the anime stuff. That's why you clicked this video. So I'm pretty much just gonna talk about my top 10 favorite anime series, which is not that easy, let me tell you, because I thought I had my top 10 figured out from the start. So I just browsed my list and I'm like, God, I can't decide. So hopefully this list kind of captures like what I like and dislike about anime, and maybe you'll get a feel for my taste. And hopefully we're similar, dear YouTube friend who never responds to me. So without further ado, here is my top 10 anime. We all know the big three of anime. We have Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. And then we have the pretty popular ones like Fullmetal Alchemist and Cowboy Bebop, and we have those. But then way down the line, we have like the anime that's like ranked 2000 in popularity. I'm pretty sure this one's even ranked even lower, but it's called Bartender. And the show's about a bartender. Stay with me, folks. And it's got like a film noir kind of style where the people in the show can just face the camera and a spotlight comes down from the heavens and they can just express their thoughts and we can hear in their minds and stuff. And I'm like, oh god, this is so cool every time it happens. It took me a while to get used to. I'm like, this is kind of stupid, but after I got like watched it for a few episodes, I'm like, hey, this is kind of really awesome. And the show basically follows like a really renowned bartender at this bar who's it's like compared to like all the bars, they're all flashing and stuff. This one's really quiet. The door's heavy, so I guess if you don't want to go in, like if you don't believe you can get in there, you can't like open the door, you can't lift it. I didn't really understand that one aspect of the show, but anyway. And basically the normal setup of an episode is someone sits down at the bar and this guy's like, "Hey, what's the matter?" And they're like, "Okay, let me tell you my 10-minute long story." And this guy's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this one drink?" And like, "No, I haven't." And then he like makes it, and they're like, then they take a sip, and they're like, "Oh my god, I've been such a fool." And that's pretty much it. I know I'm pretty much butchered this, but I haven't seen the show in a while, so I'm going off of memory. And this is all improv, and this is not scripted, so this is kind of hard for me to explain. But I can't really explain the magic of Bartender. You just have to sit down and watch it. It's 11 episodes long, which is pretty much just a rainy weekend at home if you really just want to like sit down and watch it. Because I would give this show a watch, just because its concept is not Japanese at all. It's really a Western kind of concept where we pride ourselves on liquor and we love liquor, and we feel like this show teaches us that liquor can actually like fix friendships and cure depression in a way, not like by overdose of liquor, just by like nostalgia or like a memory you have based off a drink, and if you drink it again, your eyes will open and you'll see the problem at hand. Oh, God, you're not gonna watch this show after this description, but I really hope you check this show out. That's my number 10, guys. Talk about don't judge a book by its cover. At number 9, we have Gungrave. And from the first episode alone, I hated every moment of it. It had this weird, pasty guy with long white hair, and he had like the dual giant revolvers like Vash the Stampede did, and I'm like, wow, this show's really bad. And then I watched the second episode. Oh my, oh my. The first episode is basically like, I think it's like the 18th episode is when they get out of the flashback. But like half the show, or the majority of the show, is like a giant flashback. And it's done so well and so slow. It's probably the best character building in any anime series ever. I feel for these characters. I understand them. I can relate. I understand their problems and what they go through. And I just want to be with them and comfort them. Anyway, we have Brandon Heat and Harry McDowell, who are great friends, and it's pretty much their rise into the mafia. And of course, we have that weird kind of mutant influence, which happens later on. Like every person he meets becomes like a mutant eventually. And I thought that was kind of tacked on. They could have just had like that kind of story without any kind of aliens or weird mutations. I don't know why I said aliens. There's no aliens in the show. They're mutations. And I thought, like, without that, the show would be even better. But of course, they do everything really well, and it builds up to that. And I just wanted to live in the flashback the entire show. But you know, you can't always get what you want. And this show is just so perfect. The animation's great. The voice act, I had the dub, and I'm surprised the dub was so good. So I give a dub to check out. I'll tell you to check out the dub because it's on Netflix Instant. The entire series. I think it's 25. No, it's either 24 or 26 episodes long, and I would give that a look see. I give it 2 thumbs up. Boop. I'll take a potato chip and eat it. If you don't know where that quote is from, then clearly you haven't seen more than 3 anime titles. This is from none other, this quote is from none other than this show called Death Note, which is extremely popular in and out of anime and has been spoofed a lot in Western media. Death Note follows Light Yagami, which is I am a gay, spelled backwards. Fun fact for you. And he's just a normal student. He actually kind of he's pretty he's a bore. He's just like I get good grades and I go home and study and that's pretty much it. But on his he ends up finding the Death Note, which falls and it's a notebook and it has instructions where if you write someone's name down and you know their face, that they'll die of a heart attack or they'll die of a specific cause if you write that down. And of course he doesn't believe this, so he tests it out on someone that's being mugged, I think in a grocery store or like a convenience store, and it works. He dies. So Light Yagami's like, hey, I can become a god. So it's pretty much the rest of the show is him kind of becoming crazy and that whole god complex of his increasing. And of course, it's like a detective show, so we have the guy trying to find who this is, who Kira is, and that is L, the mysterious L, who enjoys sweets. I enjoy cake and pastry, so I can relate to L. L is kind of a nut job, just like Light, so that's why they can kind of go hand in hand and one-up each other constantly, because they're so similar. They're pretty much just one Death Note apart from each other. Like, if L had a Death Note, I bet he would probably use it. Sounds about right. And L's like the greatest detective in the world, and nobody knows what he looks like, and just the whole, how well they handle all the mind games in the show just is great. I like all like the demons that's in the show. Like there's Ryuk, who is Light's demon, who likes apples. And I like the demons. The demons are really well drawn, really creative designs, and they're kind of scary. Little scary demons. Scary little demons, huh? Anyway, the dub sucks. That's why the dub's really not good. I tried to watch it, like after I watched the sub just for giggles, but anyway, watch the Japanese audio with the English subtitles, and you'll have a great time with this show. Let me tell you, it's like a game of chess on steroids with cake and demons that like apples. I haven't made this clear yet, but I love 90s anime. The art style's awesome, and the stories are really original, and compared to present anime, I would easily pick 90s in a heartbeat. So of course, number 7 is Trigun, a really awesome show. And fun fact for you, in Japan, where Trigun was originally created, it kind of didn't really do that well. Not many people liked it, it was not popular at all. And then they put it over to the Western audience because that had more of a Western appeal. The show was more Western based, and people were just like, "Hey, Trigun's awesome! Everybody, let's party in the streets naked." And they also made Trigun Badlands Rumble recently, and they pretty much made that just for the American audience, which I thought was really sweet of them. And that's a really good movie too. So this is kind of like a dual number. I can't speak, but basically I'm going to put the movie and the original show on the same number 7 spot. Because I think they both have goods and bads, and they both balance each other out. Trigun follows Vash the Stampede, who has $60 billion double dollars on his head. And nobody really knows why. Once you actually meet this hyped up Vash, he's kind of a klutz. Not really a klutz, he's kind of a goofball. He's really stupid, and everything he does is kind of silly, and everyone's like, how do you get this much money on his head? And for most of the show, they don't think that Vash is actually Vash. But then Vash, like, clicks, and then he becomes this kind of badass character. And I loved that moment, plural, because it happened a lot. The first half of the show is you get introduced to all the characters in that weird location that they live in. It's kind of like Wild West crossed with sci-fi. And then the second half is kind of just Vash's past and how really tragic it is. Like, man, with knives, his brother, and I can't even spoil that, man. It's so good. So Trigun. I love you so much. You are one of my first 90s animes I've seen, and you will certainly not be the last. Well, that's kind of figured because you were the first, and I've seen more since then. So yeah, yeah. You're not. I like you. I like you as a friend, Trigun. Just a friend. Possibly the greatest anime duo of all time, Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric. And this show is none other than Fullmetal Alchemist. Oh yeah, number 6. Here we come. Anyway, Fullmetal Alchemist takes place in a world where alchemy is pretty much science itself, wherein the law of equivalent exchange means you have to use a certain amount of X material to create X item. Like you can't create something from nothing, basically. And after the death of their mother, Alphonse and Edward try to use human transmutation to revive her, which is a taboo in this world. And they kind of fuck up a little bit. And, in the process, one of them might have lost their body, they might have lost a hand and an arm and a leg, and yeah, what can you do? It's pretty hard. So we follow them. They become a state alchemist, which is basically the dogs of the military, and they want to track an item called the Philosopher's Stone, which is said to increase your alchemy abilities, and they think that maybe they can revive their mother using this stone. And of course, there's plot twists along the way. But what you probably do know this, but there's 2 series. We have the original, which is loosely based off the manga, and the tears from it halfway through. And then we have Brotherhood, which is the remake, and it follows the manga pretty much the entire time. I loved the first one, and then I loved the second one when I saw it. And there's people that like either or. I'm gonna say watch Brotherhood first. I feel like Brotherhood has a much better storyline. I thought with the original they kind of made it up as they go. Like, oh god, we just did this. Oh wait, how about we do this to fix it? And I'm like, hey, come on, I want a better story than that. I thought Brotherhood was much more fast paced, and it was just a joyride. What a fun ride it was. And Fullmetal Alchemist is considered probably the best anime around, but we're only on number 6. So how'd I fuck this up already? Let's find out.